Sometimes the hardest truth to face is the one that feels uncomfortably close to home. There are moments in love when the very way we show up thinking we're doing the right, kind, loving thing quietly chips away at the way someone sees our value. Not because we are any less worthy, but because certain patterns blur the brilliance of who we are. This isn't about appearances, career success, or charm. It's about the subtle energy we bring into a connection, energy that can either inspire someone to rise toward us, or unknowingly teach them to treat us like an option. You see, your worth isn't something anyone can truly take away. It's not fragile like glass, ready to shatter, but it can be buried hidden under habits born from fear, longing, or old wounds you haven't yet noticed. And when that happens, the light you naturally carry feels dimmer, even though it's still there, waiting for you to claim it again. Think of it like a candle covered by a glass dome. The flame still burns, but no one feels its warmth until the cover is lifted. And in relationships, we sometimes become the one placing that glass dome over our own fire through overgiving, oversharing, overchasing, mistaking those acts for love, when in truth, they're often quiet acts of self-abandonment. This is the tender, unspoken truth. Sometimes, we hand out pieces of our soul too soon, before trust has been earned. We give emotional access like it's a free pass, thinking that openness will create closeness. But intimacy, the kind that grows roots, needs space, patience, and the steady build of earned trust. When someone meets you, the spark they feel is not just from your smile or your laugh. It's from the space between what they know and what they don't yet know. That space, mystery, discovery, depth, creates curiosity, and curiosity is the spark that keeps love alive. But when we give all of ourselves away immediately, our stories, our fears, our past wounds, our deepest secrets, it's like turning to the last page of a novel before reading the first chapter. There's nothing left to discover. No unfolding, no journey, and without the journey, desire quietly fades into comfort. And comfort, though nice, rarely keeps the fire alive. I know it feels counterintuitive. We've been taught to just be ourselves, to be transparent, to show someone that we're safe and trustworthy by sharing openly. And there is beauty in openness. But love isn't only built in the giving, it's built in the earning. In the slow reveal, in the delicate dance where two people step toward each other, each move met with equal presence and care. When you give your emotional world without first seeing if someone can hold it gently, you risk not only losing the magic of discovery, you risk carrying the relationship on your own shoulders. Suddenly, you're not just someone he's getting to know, you've become his emotional anchor before he's shown you he can be yours. That imbalance feels heavy for him and for you. A woman rooted in her worth understands this. She shares pieces of herself like petals unfolding. Not all at once, she allows time to reveal the layers of her heart, each one opened by the warmth of consistent care. And in doing so, she keeps her light radiant, not because she's hiding, but because she knows her soul is a rare treasure, not something tossed into open hands without care. The truth is, the moments you hold back not from fear, but from self-respect, are not empty spaces in the connection. They are invitations. Invitations for him to lean in, to ask, to pursue, to cherish. Because the right man doesn't just want to be given a place in your heart. He wants to feel that he's earned it. When understanding turns into self-abandonment, there's a kind of kindness that isn't kindness at all. It's the smile you wear when something cuts a little too deep. But you don't say anything because you don't want to make it a big deal. It's the forgiveness you give before an apology has even been offered because you want to keep the peace. It's the way you start collecting explanations for someone else's behavior, weaving them into a story that makes their choices seem reasonable, even when those choices leave you feeling small. And you tell yourself, this is love, this is patience, this is grace. But sometimes, it's not. Sometimes, it's the quiet erosion of your own boundaries. disguised as compassion. Here's the thing no one really warns us about. The moment you start explaining away someone's lack of effort, lack of respect, or lack of care, you stop holding them accountable to the truth. You start lowering the standard for how you should be treated, one excuse at a time. And the more you do it, the more you teach them that your needs are negotiable. You're not doing it because you're weak. You're doing it because you're hopeful. Because you believe in their potential. Because you've glimpsed the version of them they could be. And you're willing to wait for that version to show up. But here's the uncomfortable truth. People don't become better partners because you endure their worst. They become better partners when they are inspired by the way you honor yourself. When you continually let poor treatment slide, not only does it chip away at how you see yourself, it changes how they see you. Without even realizing it, you stop being the woman they were inspired to pursue. And you become the woman who will always understand, always stay, always bend. And over time, something subtle but painful happens. The respect fades. Not all at once, not dramatically, but in the small ways. In the cancelled plans without apology. In the conversations where they stop listening. In the promises made without follow-through. And every time you silently let it go, you're not just giving them permission to repeat it, you're reinforcing the belief that you'll never walk away. A woman who knows her worth doesn't make endless room for bad behavior. She gives grace. Yes, but grace has boundaries. She understands that compassion without accountability isn't compassion at all. It's a form of self-abandonment. True understanding isn't making excuses for someone. It's seeing them clearly, flaws and all, and deciding whether their actions align with the kind of love you're willing to receive. When you stop explaining away the things that hurt you, something powerful happens. You shift the energy. You move from silently absorbing the pain, to standing in the quiet strength of self-respect. And in that shift, you either inspire them to meet you there, or you make space for someone who already will. Because here's the truth. The love you deserve will never require you to shrink, twist, or rewrite reality just to make it fit. When always being there makes you invisible, there's a sweetness in being the person someone can always count on. The one who answers the late-night call. The one who says, "It's okay. I'll rearrange my plans." The one who shows up no matter how last minute. No matter how many times they've canceled before. At first, it feels like love. It feels like devotion. It feels like proof that you're loyal, solid, and different from the rest. But here's the quiet truth most people don't see coming. When you're always available, your presence stops feeling like a gift, and starts feeling like a guarantee. And what's guaranteed is rarely cherished. It's not that they stop caring about you, it's that the human heart is wired to value what has to be earned. We treasure what we fear we could lose. We lean toward what isn't always within reach. We put effort into what feels precious. When you're endlessly accessible, there's no anticipation, no space to wonder, no reason for them to step up or plan ahead because they know you'll be there. Waiting. You start to notice it in the small ways. They stop calling ahead. They stop putting thought into your time together. They assume you'll say yes before they even ask. And without meaning to, you've trained them not to pursue you because they never had to. A woman rooted in her worth doesn't confuse being there for someone with making herself constantly available. She knows that her time, her energy, and her attention are valuable. She understands that love grows not only in closeness, but in the gentle rhythm of coming together and stepping back, giving the relationship room to breathe. It's not about playing games. It's about honoring your own life enough to keep living it fully, vibrantly, even when someone you care about is in the picture. When you have your own plans, your own passions, your own world outside of them, your presence becomes a choice, not a constant. And choices feel intentional. They hold weight. They are remembered. You want to be the person they look forward to seeing, not the person they assume will always be there no matter how they show up. Because the truth is, you are not a background fixture in someone's life. You are the spark, the depth, the rare light that makes their world richer. And that kind of light isn't switched on 24/7, it's cherished precisely because it's not taken for granted. Lifting the glass dome off your light. If you've ever found yourself oversharing your heart too soon, excusing behavior that hurt you, or being endlessly available for someone who didn't meet you halfway, you are not broken, foolish, or weak. You were simply loving in the way you were taught love should be given. Fully. Freely. Without hesitation. But there comes a moment in every woman's life when she realizes this. Love given without self-respect is love that will slowly deplete her. Because here's the truth. Your worth has never actually left you. It's never been destroyed, no matter how many times someone failed to see it. It can't be taken. But it can be hidden under layers of overgiving, over-forgiveness, and over-availability until even you start to forget the power of what you carry. And the moment you remember, everything shifts. Remembering doesn't mean closing your heart. It doesn't mean withholding love. It means loving yourself so deeply that you refuse to water down your standards to keep someone around. It means allowing people to earn your trust, to earn your vulnerability, to earn your time so that when they receive it, they treat it like the treasure it is. It means understanding that your kindness is not infinite without care. That your compassion does not exist to cushion someone from the weight of their own choices. That your presence is not an entitlement, it's a privilege. When you reclaim your boundaries, something beautiful happens. You stop chasing connection, and you start magnetizing it. You stop feeling drained, and you start feeling alive. You stop being someone's safety net, and you become the reason they want to rise higher. And in that space, the right person will see you not as a constant convenience, not as an emotional dumping ground, not as someone who just understands, but as a rare soul they are blessed to walk beside. So here's your reminder, whispered with the gentleness you deserve. You are not here to convince anyone of your value. You are here to live it, breathe it, embody it. Every time you honor yourself, you lift the glass dome off your light. And when your light shines without apology, the right people don't just notice it, they protect it. The quiet return to yourself. There will come a day when you look back at the version of you who overgave, overforgave, and overstayed, and you won't feel shame. You'll feel gratitude. Because that version of you, she was doing her best with what she knew. She believed that love meant proving your loyalty, even when it cost you pieces of yourself. She thought being chosen meant never letting go, no matter how heavy it became. But now, you know better. You know that being chosen isn't worth it if you have to disappear to earn it. You know that the love you're building must have room for both people to stand tall without one shrinking to make space for the other. And slowly, you begin to notice the shift. You stop answering calls that only come when someone needs something. You stop rearranging your world for people who wouldn't do the same for you. You stop pouring from a cup that no one thought to refill. At first, it feels strange, like you're losing people, like you're walking away from comfort, like you're risking being misunderstood. And you are, but what you're gaining is far greater. You're gaining peace that doesn't depend on someone else's mood. You're gaining time to pour into the passions and dreams that once collected dust. You're gaining a version of yourself that feels whole, not because someone is loving you right now, but because you finally are. And the most beautiful part? The love that comes after you return to yourself will be different. It will not ask you to dim. It will not require you to prove. It will not punish you for having boundaries. It will rise to meet you. So let this be the moment you stop waiting for someone else to recognize your worth and start living in it. Because the right love will not have to be convinced. It will see you, choose you, and keep choosing you, not because you gave everything away too soon, but because you honored yourself enough to give it slowly, intentionally, and to the right person. Your worth has been here all along. It's time to come home to it. The softest goodbye to who you were. There's a quiet kind of courage in letting go of the version of you who kept trying to be enough for people who never learned how to hold enough. It's not a loud goodbye. It's not a door slammed shut. It's a gentle release, the kind you give when you finally understand that you don't have to fight to keep what's meant to stay. You may miss her sometimes, the you who loved with no breaks, who stretched herself thin just to see someone else smile. She had a kind of innocence you might never fully get back. But you'll have something richer now. Wisdom. Wisdom to know that not everyone gets the privilege of your full heart. Wisdom to know that space is not abandonment, it's the fertile ground where love grows roots. Wisdom to know that boundaries are not walls, they're the frame that lets the art of you be seen clearly. And here's what might surprise you. The world will respond differently to you now. The people who are meant for you will lean in. They'll match your effort. They'll protect your softness because they see how rare it is. And the ones who only took, they'll fade, quietly, without the drama you once feared. Because when you start living from your worth, you no longer have to end certain relationships, your energy simply stops feeding what cannot grow. And it dissolves on its own. So, take a breath. Stand a little taller. Speak a little slower. Let your presence fill a room without rushing to offer it away. The woman you are now is not harder, she's clearer. She loves just as deeply, but she chooses more wisely. She still has an open hand, but she no longer sets herself on fire to keep someone else warm. And that is the quiet power you carry forward, knowing you can still love beautifully, without losing yourself in the process. The girl who once overgave and overforgave was never wrong for loving the way she did. But the woman you are now? She's done mistaking self-abandonment for love. She is light, unhidden. She is home, to herself first. If you take just one thing from today, let it be this: you never have to trade pieces of yourself to be loved. Your worth was whole long before anyone saw it. And from this moment on, you don't just live, you live as someone who knows she's worthy. If you want more quiet whispers that heal and remind you of your own strength, make sure you subscribe to Whisper to Heal and turn on notifications. Every week, we'll sit here together, slow, real, and honest, speaking the words your heart has been waiting to hear. I'll see you in the next episode.